Howdy, I'm Jimmy. Thanks for joining me outside today for this magical talk. Oh, I had a lot of trouble in my last video. I had so much to say and I was trying to condense it into such a small amount of time. I feel like I could write a book about smart technologies and all these hidden weapon systems everywhere, but I mean, it's all public knowledge. You should already know about these things. So I did my best. But today, let's forget about the physical. Let's forget about a lot of stuff that goes on. Just focus on the basics of magic. Just a low-level, basic understanding of magic, how it's working. If you could even figure out how magic works in the first place, that's half the fun of magic. So, in my life, I've been very open to all these different possibilities here. I've listened to a lot of men and a lot of their ideas, and I've followed their ideas all the way to the end, and I always find holes in their ideas, anomalies, inconsistencies, contradictions a lot of times, especially when you talk about science and mainstream science that's still based on like things that happened 200 years ago. They're still using the same scientific model. They're just sort of tightening it, making more from that model to make more profits. And to me, it's like what's going on in the medical system is magic potions and just mind tricks, and very easy to use potions on people and trick them. It's like that's kind of what's been going on here. But getting past all these ideas that other men have and just sitting in silence, sitting in nature, and reflecting on what this experience is you're having, how does it work, based off of what all these people tell you, right? And if you're wise, if you're patient, I'm the kind of person who likes to go low and slow, take my time. You know, this is not some big fast race to the finish here. I think we're immortal anyway. So we would want to go low and slow and take our time with things. We have all the time in the world, in my opinion, right? You could totally talk to some money psycho who just, time is money, and they waste their time here for debt notes. But once you get past all these ideas that other people have, and you just start to, all right, I got to discover what's actually going on here for myself, I would suggest using the frame of magic to figure things out. The phenomena of life. You could call it magic, you could call it a miracle. I'm being totally serious. Think about this. Think about what's been going on around you. Think about what's going on inside of you. And then think about what people have said about it, right? Think about how impossible it is to grasp entirely what a body is doing at the moment, and how there's too much going on. There's way too much going on in our bodies to actually define it and to stamp it down and say it's this way or it's that way. And it's why everybody debates about how to heal things. It's why everybody debates on what's the best to eat. It's a big mystery still, and it will always be a mystery, because this is not a physical existence that you're experiencing. It's some strange hallucination through the mind. And to try and, to put it in a very simple terms, like, you know of people who have taken shrooms, have taken acid. Well, imagine if they took acid, they took the shrooms, and they're tripping balls, like they're tripping out. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to get to the bottom of this reality that I'm hallucinating, all these colors, and like you're going to somehow measure the color waves while you're on an acid trip and figure out, oh, that means that we're light beings. And, going off on a tangent, but we're on a trip right now. We are not in a logical, rational thing like you've been taught. It is not, there is no absolutes about this place and what's going on here. You have to understand that about this, and the constant change that's happening between each second. You can't even see it, but it's always happening. There's always some transformation of everything to the next moment, and it happens instantly. And it's all through the mind, through the ether, whatever the invisible spirit or electricity or power source or wave of energy, whatever you call it. There is something invisible that's creating all of this around you. And that's all provable with technology. That you gotta love that you can prove magic. But it leaves you with more questions than answers. That's what people have been trained away from. They want answers. The answers don't have to be correct. The answers don't have to lead to freedom. They just want answers to feel safe, which that's a whole nother, you talk about magic tricks and spells, using words to lull people into sleep and make them feel safe. Basic spell casting, very basic stuff. So we're talking about magic, and the simplest form of magic that we're all experiencing, spelling. We spell words out, we cast our spells. Like, I'm casting a spell right now to try and break a lot of dark magic that's been placed on you, on people around you. Every time you speak, it's magic. If you haven't realized it, it's a spell being cast. But suggestion, it's really the simplest form of magic, when you can suggest, you should probably act this way, you should probably think that way, you should probably be like that. You say it, you suggest it, and then the person does it, and the person follows the suggestions without question. And that's a very simple way of addressing the mind control issue in our realm. The power of the television and the broadcasters and the radio and the internet, and how they're just casting ideas and suggestions all day long. They're suggesting that you think this way. They're suggesting that you vote that way, that you wish for this or that. Simple suggestion. The simplest form of magic. And that's all that's really needed to take over somebody's consciousness here and strip them of their magical powers. Strange to me how it all works. Very strange. But it's clear to see the words are doing the most damage here to people. Gotta love that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Huh? Words are doing the most damage than any stick or stone could have ever done. A lot of these sayings, these common sense sayings, they're just suggestive spell casts to confuse you. And people repeat them and regurgitate them to each other. Freedom isn't free. It's another spell people love to blab on about how freedom, you know, it's like saying the sun isn't the sun. Blue isn't blue. Freedom isn't free. You must be a slave to be free. Yeah, it's just really easy if you don't think things through and have your own take on what other people are saying to you. Real easy to think, oh yeah, that means I need to go fight and then I'll be free. When the more you fight, the more you get enslaved, the more you're tricked, the more damage you cause. It's just clear as day. Freedom is free. It will always be free. But it's a choice you have to take, and it's a lifestyle you have to live and lead. And I really want to just get this point across. Like, nobody has all the answers here. Nobody, none of your idols, right? None of your biblical idols, none of your worldly idols, none of them have the answers. In fact, they're just trying to take you and use you in some strange way right now. Most of these idols that people have that are imaginary from religion, or if they're actual flesh and blood people that claim to have power, claim to be sent by God. When you quiet the mind, you just sit back, start to feel what's going on around you, move your awareness to your toes, move your awareness up to your ankle, up to your leg, up to your knee. Just slowly move your awareness up your body, out through your hands, up through your head. You start to get in tune with the magic. You get your loud, stupid ego voice out of the way and start to actually hear the magic around you and feel it. What's happened? It's very simple. Very simple. Think when you were a child and how everything was magical, right? Everything was magic when you were a child. Whoa, what is this? What is that? What are these things? What is this? Wowzers. It was all magic. And then what happened? Why isn't it magic anymore? I go back to my first thought as a child. And I try to go to before that, when I was conscious and I started thinking within my mind. I think it was like 7 or 8 when I started to actually like comprehend, like, oh, I'm talking to myself in my head, like, man, this is really crazy. This whole thing. But yeah, that's when you start questioning reality, I guess. But you got to realize, before you even had any of that, you were somewhere else as a child. You didn't really need to know anything. You were just, you're just experiencing it, loving it. And to get back to that state, getting back into the magic and the wonder of life and all these things. It just requires you to stop. But basically, if you think about what happened as a child, as soon as you started to have the capability to think and reflect on things, what happened? They took you to a prison camp, to a concentration camp, and they answered all those questions for you. But they answered them in a spell-casted way, in the most inverted way you should ever treat a child. I'll say it here, and I will stand by this till the day I die. To take a child and to take away its freedom, to take away its agency, and to pollute it and fill it with a bunch of man-made garbage about war and countries and pledging your heart to flags. Does anybody wonder why the magic's gone? It's stolen from the children. It's ripped out of them and replaced with the machine mind, with the robot slave that the emperor, right, the naked emperor that has no clothes on right now, he just wants to use like a little pawn, right? That's where all the magic went, into the dark magician, into the dark machine when you were a child. And most people will accept that reality, and they will live it till they die, assisting the dark magicians in darkening this realm and continuing the horror show that is humanity right now. It's going to take magic to get us out of this, because magic is how we got into it. But I really think the key is what they do to children. And if children were allowed to be free and play and decide their own lives, it's so simple. So extremely simple. Instead of people who have gotten old and corrupted with their traditions and their judgments and their false realities, taking children and indoctrinating them into the black cube cult. It's so simple to me. And I just think the world is getting ready to hear this kind of stuff. They're ready to understand what's been going on behind the scenes the whole time. It all starts with magic. It will all end with magic. Just remind your head, remind your mind and your brain that all the time. Like when you have a thought that, oh wait, no, science is going to explain, it's like, you got to let go and surrender to the magic. And then all of these thoughts kind of fade away. They're not important. It's more about this moment and the spell I'm casting in this moment and the feelings I'm having and the love I'm spreading. It's not about future fear, future scarcity. It's not about any of those mind tricks. Accept the magic. That's all I'm saying. You're a fool if you don't. A fool would do what these scientists do, and they're paid to continue dark sorcery to trick people. That's all that science is doing. We have all these basic answers from our ancestors. They just burned all the books and hid everything from us. We've always had all these answers. They're faking discovery. They're faking ingenuity. They're faking creation right now. And if you can't pick up on that, it must be fake. I don't know. But gotta find the magic again. It's all about the magic, and it's all about not understanding it. It's about accepting it more than anything. And magical things will happen in your life. I guarantee it, when you really accept it and don't get in the way. The magic will come. Peace will be restored, at least within you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. Let's get magical. I love you.